people we represent in this area, and that is the Groundwater Success story. Again, we have a future program coming up about how that's going to be presented as well. But what you see on the bottom of the slide there is that decrease that has taken place as pump and treat and other methods of cleaning up the contamination have taken place over the years to bring back within the site the contamination. And I think our board has indicated to Jennifer, and Jennifer would probably agree with this, that that's been a high priority for years and will continue to be a priority up to the very end and maybe beyond. So it's important that we put that on our slide to talk about what is important on our board and what are we doing to continue to keep that in the forefront of not only DOE, but the forefront of our citizens to know what's going on. I think one of the tasks that we face on almost a daily basis is a lot of work is going on out there. You just can't see it. You don't know that it is. And as I have talked to some people, you know, if you ask people in the community, they might even say, what plant? Don't see it from the road. Doesn't glow in the middle of the night anymore from the lights. That's not from radiation, folks. That was from the lights. And I can put a story with that. When we lived in Michigan, power failures, the only thing that glowed in the middle of the night was Jackson Prison. Now, that's not our prison here, but it did have lights that shine in the middle of the night. No more steam plume. So it's not waving a flag, say, look, we're here. We don't have that anymore. So we need to draw attention to people, what's going on out there. And this is our method of drawing attention to the other sites from across the country. Any comments about this slide or anything that you feel that we need to make sure we share with the other sites? Does this slide tell us what's important to this CAB? Derek, you can just go ahead and shake your head because it sounds good. Okay, thank you. The next item you have in front of you is the Citizens Advisory Board operating procedures. Basically, here's what we do and how we do it. Official document, some 14 pages in length, concerning everything from membership to board structure to holding elections, how to remove a person from office if need be. This is the first reading of this document. I mentioned it to you that it's considered a reading. Unlike Congress, you may not request that it be read to you. We are not going to be here that long tonight. And so I ask that over the next month's period of time, tonight constitutes the first reading. In reading this, do you have some questions considering clarity, procedure, verbiage, misspellings? Please contact Eric and make him aware of your concerns that you might have on this document. Because this then becomes, you notice by looking at the first page, I sign off as chair and Jennifer signs off as well. So it becomes a legal binding document. Important that, and it's again one of those, just like we talk about other things that we've done, been a work in progress. Gone through various channels to get approval on certain things. So look at it carefully over the next month, and it will come back up for a vote in another month. approved. No votes taken tonight. Any questions concerning this document at this time?
Can you summarize if there's anything major that's changed from previous years?
So I don't think you're gonna see any significant difference in necessarily the administrative portion. Your votes are gonna be the same for a recommendation for changing the operating procedures, things of that nature. There were a couple of things that, you know, the operating procedures we're operating under now are about 10 years old, maybe slightly older, almost 12 years old. And so there are just some minor changes. Time to get minutes recorded and certified, times to post and notice meetings, things of that. So we just try to update some of those big picture items. And then we just streamlined the minutes quite a bit. The older version's probably 5 pages longer than this. We just try to make it a little more user friendly. And again, these are intended to help facilitate our work, not to create boundaries and guidelines that limit us in our ability. So we try to make them a little more open-ended, a little more user-friendly. But I don't think you're going to see anything significant. There wasn't a big push for a major change.
Thank you, Mike. Any other questions at this time?
We started this revision process about 2 years ago, give or take, Buzz. And I know several members of the executive committee spending a lot of time kind of crosswalking this, Judy in particular. And Victoria provided several comments. So just to try to kind of clean it up a little bit. So hopefully, the purpose is we're hoping it, you know, one, it brings us a little more up to date and just eliminate some of our questions and concerns going forward.
Just one other comment on it too. There's a lot more verbiage on there about conflict of interest, which was from the headquarters, which was necessary to close put it back too.
Any other comments or questions? Again, not often, but you got homework. Got some things to read, to take a look at over the next month period of time. I remember I'll send out a reminder notice to say, have you done your homework? So that I don't see you here at this meeting right beforehand. Bill, you're making them comment.
I was going to inquire if Jim could send file copies of this to everyone, because if we're gonna make changes, it'd be a whole lot easier to type it in and show it in a track change format or something to other people.
Thank you for your suggestion. Jim will take care of that. Buzz, are there any public comments prior to tonight's meeting that were sent to you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Again, public comments were accepted up until 5 o'clock Monday of this week before the meeting, and will continue to be accepted no later than 5 p.m. Friday, September 24th. If you are out there and wish to make a comment, please submit those comments to, as you see on your screen, Eric at pgdpcab.org, and put public comment in the subject line. It would be greatly appreciated. Are there any other comments from the board members tonight? Eric, do you have any final comments?
Hey, I realized tonight was not the most exciting meeting, and I promise, Eric, some of them are better than this. Not necessarily significantly better, but better, right? So we'll actually like cover some new material and have some like presentations, and you know, it's oddly kind of fun in its own little way, right? And we try to enjoy ourselves, but we did have some, because of the time we've taken off with COVID and the inability to get together. together as a board to have meetings. We did have some administrative stuff we wanted to do. Plus, this allowed us to kind of put theory that this hybrid meeting would work in the way that we had done it. We just had to kind of trial run our system, and clearly there's some things we need to work on. We lost our feed in the middle of the night or in the middle of the session, and fortunately, I think Julie's got duplicates of the meeting, so we'll piece it together and get it posted on YouTube and meet all our needs. But hopefully, this is just a first step. We will continue to have meetings like this in the future for those that feel more comfortable meeting via Teams. We are meeting, socially distanced in the room and trying to provide as much safety and security as we can for you here so that you feel comfortable being in the space if you would like to join us. But we will continue operating with board members only at this point and DOE support until given further notice, and then other folks, contractors, liaisons, other outside individuals participating via Teams, just to keep our numbers a little more controlled. Just and some direction we've been given from DOE on this. So kind of where we are. Anything from you guys?
Any other final comments from board members?
We would love your feedback on if this worked, what we need to do better. I know Fran had some technical problems and she was kind of in and out. We'll work with her to try to adjust that. But Patrick, Celeste, Blake, Myron, Liz, any of you that are there, we would love to hear from you on how this went and if it's beneficial and what we can do to make it better.
We thank all of you for being in attendance, whether here or via Teams. Thank you for your time. Thank you for serving on CAB. With that, stand adjourned.